Thank you. I am Nagpur. Though this is Sunday and you all are here, so I'll do my level best that I should give something to you which is not taught in academy, something which is external, and I can only or we can only do justice to bring those small, snippets of wisdom to all of you. So the topic given today is lessons in people management amidst global turmoil. Yeah. Uh, People management in global turmoil. I'll break it into pieces that it is easy for us to comprehend, to understand. I will speak and then I'll take any questions further from all of you. So first, because I come from that domain, I love it, people domain. So I will focus there, and then I'll open my understanding of this entire thing. So from the people angle, when I bifurcate, one thing today, if you say people management, the first thing is we have to understand people, and we all live our lives, we all die. But can we pause a little bit and try to understand what is this people, what we so colloquially term, and we are a part of it. Yeah. If you want to understand better how a person behaves, how this so-called people elements behave, I must know that you would be given those classes on transactional analysis. If not, then maybe sometime I'll love to do that. Just to understand a little bit further, a little bit better, this element called people, one thing comes very closely to it is a selfish species which exists on this earth. Very, very selfish. Yeah, the best should happen to me, and worst should happen to others. Right? In this pandemic, what is the thing like? I should be safe and fine. Wave one. I should be safe and fine. It is happening at a distance. Let people die. It doesn't matter. Till the time wave two came and people very close to us, started getting affected. I was a blessed one to have the COVID in wave one, and then I could feel whatever so-called people elements are. But little bit, if I digress from here, and of course half of me is an army guy, so I have two people staying inside me. It is a sort of, you can say, if I make it very, mysterious or very enchanting, then it's sort of a split personality. I am a warrior inside and I am a HR professional inside. The two of them, and whenever one gets heavy, I'll tell you. So one is what I was taught in my childhood at the same time when you guys were making careers and when I was groomed in terms of people element. Though this thing comes from Indian Military Academy, it is called Chetwood Credo. But we exchange a lot of points between all the academies, what we have in army. So it says, and it's so beautiful. I must read this for you. The safety, honor, and welfare of your country comes first, always and every time. The honor, welfare, and comfort of the men you command comes next. Your own ease, comfort, and safety comes last, always and every time. And many times used to smirk and smile on this thing, always and every time. Yeah. So means the country comes first, the men you command comes next, and you come last. That's how it is. Rather, you never come. When we used to take oath before becoming an officer, the last line, and many times I mentioned this point. There used to be a last sentence which used to say, "Peril of my life." And we all used to grin and smirk at this, whenever we used to, repeat these lines, right? That even if I die, the country should be safe. The men, the citizens should be safe. And if not very different, if you see these days, doctors are the people who are taking the center stage. So they also take an oath, which is called Hippocrates oath, right? And there also the integrity, the center are the people. Now, why I'm telling you this is when we people who are there to protect and serve the so-called the bigger lot, right? But if you take them together, Government of India or the Constitution gives also for them, the number of rights and the number of duties, and the number of duties are double almost than the number of rights. If I trickle your civics classes which we were taught in seventh or sixth standard, right? But how many of us really even have learned it the way it is and really practice it. So what I'm telling you, there will be few people who will be serving and controlling the things from the front, and the bigger lot will be commanded or controlled. But these people, when it comes the time of calling, will be relaxed and will never enforce the duties which is given to them. Right? So that is point number one. I just underline two things from the duties which is mentioned. The spirit of brotherhood. Remember this, I'll come to this. And to strive for excellence. These are the duties written in for every citizen, right? Now, taking it further from here and just talking about the people element, the people, and first you know the people, and then you will come to know how to manage this so-called people. So again, connecting the dots from the time when I was hospital, and with God's grace, most of you, if you are safe, all my fingers crossed. And in case if you have this disease, I'm telling you, it is quite difficult because you'll be away from the so-called general society, and you will be quarantined, you'll be in the hospital, and only you will be with yourself, right? So when I was in a hospital, in the hospital, people used to connect, a few of them, rest the family, and they used to connect in their own free time, free will, and they were just specific to understand, even if whatever was the situation is, that you are okay, and that 5-10 minutes between those serials which they were watching, or OTTs, in the general thing, right? So generally people are in so much of hurry, so-called around, that whenever they connect with you, they want to seek that selfish intentions from you. That if you are connected somewhere, your friend, family, whatsoever, that small intention should come to them. They serve, don't serve, it doesn't matter. They really care, don't care, it doesn't matter. And many people, for whom you have done enough, the reciprocation will never happen the way it is. So why I'm telling you these things is, you have to understand the essence of this selfish people, which is very important, right? If you know this, then life will be very easy in the corporate, because people here are more worse. They're worse than the normal ones what you see across in your day-to-day life. Now, just to understand the selfish people, what is their motto? And if most of you have seen or have watched that movie called Lucy, yeah, then it comes very bluntly that these people, generally they are here to eat and to reproduce. That's what they are here for. They are not. That's what I'm telling you. The duties, rights, and all those things comes behind. I should be good. My family should be good, and I should survive. The worst thing. That's what the intention is. So if the thing is to eat and reproduce, then the thing is everything which is around. I was talking about these people, right? These selfish people. So one thing, when the purpose is to eat and to reproduce, then everything else which will be coming across will be used, and used till the matter that these two things are taken care of. Yeah. So a simple example, whenever we connect and in any forums, whatever it is, generally that intention will be, how can we use each other. That's what at the back of the mind. This is how it happens, and it is very, very amply, very clearly, available in all the instances which you will find your life, across after joining the corporate. So that's what I wanted to tell you. That be very careful when we define the people around, so-called human beings, and the way we come across our relations, families, or whatever. Be very clear that how they are connecting with you, right? Now, when we say these situations, these times, what we are going through, I define it in three different spheres. One is maybe this pandemic, what we call a national disaster, or a global disaster, which is happening. You have no control, sort of a disease, right? Then you'll have something as a man-made disaster, right? Or maybe you'll have a universal disaster. There is some asteroid which is coming and bombarding the earth. Now, when these things happen, right? What will be the ultimate thing, the worst thing which can happen to you? We all will die. The life will not cease, it will cease to exist. That's what it is, right? So we all will die. Now, if the fact, what I'm going step by step. So one, we understood the so-called format of a person which is there, people so-called around. which is quite selfish, which is only the survival and eat and merry make is the actual thing what they strive for. Number one. Number two is whatever the situation which is around, it is you don't have any control on that, right? So how do you conduct yourself in such a situation? Now, but before going there, let me also mention to you a few things which is quite colloquially present in these days, OTTs and all whatever we see, right? When you come across as a leader, when you come across as a savior, and those two things which I mentioned to you in the first part about the soldier, about a doctor, right? Or let's talk about that guy called Jon Snow from Game of Thrones, right? When he comes to these people, whenever you come as a leader, you will be cornered after some time. So they will only use you when the things are the chips are down, when these are the tough times. Once you are used, then you will be cornered. None of the generals made a great politician. Doesn't happen, right? So even if you see these days that if you've seen have the patience of that watching Games of Thrones, at last Jon Snow, after doing everything, he was cornered, he was put on the wall. That's how it happens. That is number one. Or for example, I don't know, these days again it's common, the family man, yeah, and his boss, maybe that IT guy, if you remember, don't be that minimum guy, yeah. So that's how you will be. People will come, interact with you, use you, and throw you in a corner. Now you will have to start, because these leaders are very less, yeah. It is maybe less than 1% of the entire thing. Now you have to create that energy that even if you are eaten, you are stabbed, you are thrown in a corner, you have to start all over again, right? With this, in our time there used to be a song, and Enrique Iglesias was a person who was very popular nowadays in our college days. And there was a song which we used to use here and there. I can be your hero. Now, if you hear or listen to the song, it is like so much of pleading, right? That I can do this, I can do that. And when I was a college going kid, I think, okay, you can be a hero, then go and be a hero. Means why you're striving so much, go and do that, whatever you want. And these days, whenever all of us, when we are in this situation, we want to be a hero, but we don't know how to be that, right? And that's what we are talking, so-called this people management trends in this situation. See, the thing is simple. If you feel as you are a leader, you are beyond that selfish person, right? Then you have to go and push yourself to the levels which you want, to support and help and be that light in this darkness. And many people you see who are doing it, I will not name them or give the examples, but in whatever their own ways they are doing it. So do we stop that some lightning and some Akashvani will come and tell you that you are a leader, or you will become a CEO or I don't know, the head HR or head HR, it is still a limited factor. The crusader or a politician, how to push the things forward. It will never happen. It will just happen from your inner awakening, telling that, okay, can we extend this to someone? So that is as simple as that. So if you think you are a hero or you want to be a hero, please go and do that. Whatever you want to do, nothing stops you. That is number one. And while doing it, remember, there will be a lot of mistakes which you will do. It will happen, right? Rather, it is good to go and do mistakes rather than sitting in that position and doing nothing. Yeah, so that is very important. Go and do whatever you can in the minimalistic, in the smallest possible way, if you think that it can make a difference. If in the organization, outside the organization, society, global, whatever you can, at least it starts from that resolve that can I make some change here. That is number one. Number two, but be very careful. That's what I want to tell you. Be very, very careful. Whenever you are conducting yourself, because these people, right, when they come across after utilizing you, after sucking the hell out of you, right, maybe will make you feel like worthless. Maybe will make you feel like an idiot, right? This point I must mention here. We all are quite grown-up people. This Me Too movement was started, and there was a series of things which happened, right? These days, D&I is a lot of focus in every organization, but a lot of things has happened, and a lot of even pseudo bad cases, wrong cases were also put in front, right? Many Many people, and I have seen, I have known few of them, right, who after that had been living a life of a molester, of a creep, of a wrong guy, of a bad guy. And it is very difficult from there to start, because see, when the things were happening, it was so much like consensual. It is no, I like you, like me. It is as simple as that. But once it's all the benefits were taken off, then it was that, okay, he was a bad guy, he was a thing, and I was the victim. So people will play the victim card in front of you after the things are done, because you've been utilized. There is nothing more left inside you. Now be very careful, because when you are in that situation, it will be very difficult to bounce back. Now yes, I'm talking about that word called resilience, and when you take it from the front, I'm telling you, will be pinned down. Life will punch you on the face, as people around, those so-called best friends or family or your colleagues, will pin you down, and you have to stand all over again. Or the second thing is, in the midlife crisis, many people, when the things are not happening and they are so broken, then suicide happens, right? So these are the things I'm putting very clearly, because these people around are capable of killing you. Remember, it is like, and if you are a leader, if you are that guy who is a tiger or a lion or tigress or a lioness, I'm telling you, these guys are like hyenas. They will come in peace, in bunches. They will come all together and they will pin you down. They will eat you. They will hunt you. Right? So it is very important when I'm telling you, these people will make you feel like a loser, like you were the person who you are the perpetrator and they are the victim, right? And all these things will happen. So that strong resolve, that strong thing has to be created, in this moment, when I say, where we all are talking, we all are understanding this so-called people around, yeah. So that is one thing which I want to tell you. Now connecting, overall, if you have understood this thing called people and how to manage them. Now, when we say there is a lot of things existing in so-called competency, models, right? There are 32, universal competency in universal UCF competency framework. There are 32 traits, right, of a leader, and where you can develop further, and many different so-called psychometries of the world. They have different mechanisms. They have chosen the things from this on. Now, if you are seeing the thing from the people management, something I must tell you, which is very simple, very easy. It doesn't, it is not very extraterrestrial. Now, first thing is, people management skill is, you must have something called empathy. You must go in others' shoe and try to understand what their situation is, right? And these people always, when we as an HR, when we have such sessions, one is, we know that there is something which is so selfish. At the end of the day, whenever such discussions happen, right, two things will come into it, right? One is, can I get a better salary whenever you have such discussions, or can I have a better career in terms of promotions or whatever we call it, right? So these will be the only two things which will coming. Maybe the discussions can be from an hour to 4 hours also. Sometimes it will extend. And these are the tidbits of people management which I wanted to give it to you. Is you have to see it from the eyes of empathy, that why this guy is coming to me. And somewhere I also saw, it was under the picture of Jesus Christ, that when a hurt or a guy in pain comes to me, I don't try to understand his pain. I become the guy in pain, or become the guy who is hurt itself. Yeah. So I be that misery. So you have to be in their shoes. That's why I'm telling you. You empathize with them, and you be the same person. Right? If someone is coming and treating someone is being used, some politics is happening, all those things. So this is the first trait of people management in whatever scenario you are in, or whatever level you are in. Is the first factor is empathy, and the second is quite easy. And these are not that it is now. It has been from ages. If you talk to your grandfathers and the grandfathers before that, they will tell you the same thing. The second thing is compassion. Yeah, you feel his pain. Once you have understood the thing, you feel his pain as the person himself, right? And the next thing is, again, and those many times, sometimes these things are a trap, to trap you, to bring that thing of a loser, or of being a victim, to paint a picture, right, of a lesser self. And what happens, right, when you are in that position? So it is told to us that Spider-Man thing, with great powers comes greater responsibility. So sometimes we jump into it like Avengers to solve the situation, and later you find the person made a monkey out of it. So with that also, the thing is called patience. You sleep over it for some time. Try to understand in your free time, is it, it is a painted picture, and also try to connect with a lot of people around, that what is the actual version. It will take some time, yeah, and rather take some time, I'll say, take some experience and take some gray hair. It doesn't come very easy, because generally at young age we are in lot of energy, so we want conclusions, right, very, very fast. But it will never happen. It will take some time if you don't want to feel like a monkey after some time. So that's what I want to tell you. Empathy takes the first step, compassion the second one, and see of the holistic, well-being. Either it is an organization, it is your team, it is whatsoever, right? If you say these things are very common when you go for an interview, and at whatever level you are, there is something called unconditional bias, and it comes very unknowingly. You must be aware of this word, and it is taught across in all the B schools, right? We sediment, for example, if it is so subtle, right? It can be from the if I like black color, and if the other person is wearing the black, it can start maybe at that level, or maybe it can go further, that if I am from IIM and you are also from IIM, it can go, I can give the better opportunity to that person than anyone else. It can start from that subtle level, and if you go further, again the psychology itself is very grave a term. It is very deep. It can connect a lot of dots. So whenever, if you are in that position, remember that, be very conscious that this unconditional bias should not be touching any one of you from any corner when we talk about people management. Because whenever you are standing in front of them, what you want to do as a leader is you have to create examples, the best examples. Either it is a promotion committee, it is a career committee, it is whatsoever. Now these people are very important to be managed in unbiased and transparent and equal way. Yeah. If it doesn't happen, so then what happens? The work, so-called the workplace or the work culture, it turns toxic. Few days back, I connected with one of the guy. It was on some opportunity which was there, and I wanted to connect with him, try to understand that profile. The person tells me that, Pranav, this workplace is too toxic. There is two people inside, a coterie of the CEO and his aide, and they run the organization. Now, for example, if any organization you work with, generally if you go in MNCs, such coteries generally are not so-called, either they are killed at the right time, or it doesn't happen, because people from all cultures are there. But if you say in startups, right, if you say those entrepreneurial journeys where people have, generally in the beginning people are connected, in those angles, and unknowingly it becomes so strong, right, that people from all the domains come into picture, but they get hunted in this small circle. And first it starts with a small ego tussle, and sometimes later it also goes as grave as a toxic workplace. So remember, this is when we talk about people management, these things have to be understood, known somewhere in the back of the mind. And if you really want to do a difference, again I'll not deviate from that thing again. Remember in the duties, if I told you to remember this thing, that spirit of brotherhood or sisterhood, whatever you call, that has to be kept very deep inside. I'm talking about a global brotherhood or a global sisterhood, right, where we all stand for each other. And today, with God's grace, the way we are connected with social media, we are creating it. People are getting attached to bigger purposes, right? But always remember, whenever you are there, in terms of that global brotherhood or sisterhood, when you stand, remember how you can be same for everyone. Yeah, and there also in terms of division, in terms of caste, creed, color, religion should not be there, right? And if these so-called selfish people come and in the trap, and even if they are wrong, and they are most of the times when they come in their own groups to kill you, do no harm, because that is the beauty, that is the magnificence of a leader. They will come, shoot you, but remember, you will be known and will be celebrated and worshipped as a legend after that. Yeah, hyenas will be hyenas itself. They will never become a tiger. They will never rule the jungle. Yeah, that's what it is. So in people management, these things are very important. Whenever you will grow in life and you come to some position, remember, you have to develop people. You have to make many like you. Same thing as Maslow's need hierarchy theory is mentioned to you. And over the thing of self-actualization, there is a new word which has come, which is transcendence, which is making others better than you. And whenever in such sessions, whenever I am called and I specify on these things, that if you are here with all your hard work and all your turmoils, all your challenges, whatever has happened, right? You are here. The entire India, your society is watching you. And when you have reached this position, and tomorrow when you are in some position which is of course good, I'm quite sure, you have to pull people up. You have to inspire people around that they should also come at that level. Because when we all come that level, then remember the duty number 2 is strive for excellence. Will be really happening. Otherwise, it will never happen. So from my side, these 2 duties, when I say of people management, whenever you come across, reach some level and come at that position, right? These things should be taken in fullest of honor, right? One is that creating the global brotherhood, number 1, and number 2 is strive for excellence. These are the 2 things which you must strive for whenever you are in that position. So remember this. And at last, I have written that book called Fallen Soldier, which is just I published this month. Remember, whatever it is and whatever you become, but remember, we all are mortals. We all will die one day. But whenever the death comes to you, right, die with your honor. Don't die like a cockroach, running from here to there. Die with a dignity. Yeah, and that is nothing but whenever you are dead, and if there is second life, and if you remember. Because in the tough times or the hardest of time, remember how you conducted yourself in that time. In the case, at least a death of dignity, will create again the inspiration for many so-called selfish people. And you see these days, whenever we come across such cases of dignity, we don't do anything. Our hand goes in terms of a salute, and we just remember them as legends. So these were the small things which I want to tell you. In terms of people management, these are very subtle term, very normal term, very simple, and which always existed. I never wanted to teach you something which is very new. It is always there from ages. The only thing is, with the rights we have forgotten the duties. We have forgotten to be just and same, conducting ourselves with the same standards, unbiased to everyone, and unknowingly we have become so selfish. Everyone starts thinking about their own self. We cannot create a society which is giving. It is always a society which is taking, right? And at last, just that matter of thing to strive for the excellence. Once you do this, I am quite sure tomorrow or day after, whenever you become, you will create that society which is the society of our dreams, right? And these people management practices, the empathy, the compassion, will be held at highest regard. And any pandemic, any situation which will be coming tomorrow, we all will be ready and we all will be tackling it together. So that's all from my side, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm open for any questions. Thank you.